Everything's all out of whack. I've got the latest numbers from 2025, and the numbers and what's really going out there on the street, they just don't add up at all. So let me explain what's going on out there, and I'll make some sense out of what the news is reporting as opposed to what Pat and I are seeing out on the street. So first of all, the news likes to report year over year, and that's almost a useless statistic because what happened a year ago is so far in the rearview mirror that doesn't have a lot of bearing on what's going on today. What we prefer to look at is trends. So, for example, the news will report that the inventory for single-family homes here in the Tampa Bay area where Pat and I live is up 12%. Well, there's been a trend going on. This is going to sound like an alarming number. The amount of time it takes to get a contract is up 58%. It's crazy. Listen, it's not crazy. Everything's okay. Let me explain. So first of all, let's take a look at the inventory. The inventory is following our predicted trend. Now, the end of the year is kind of screwy, and that's a technical term that I like to use. It's screwy. Now, you take a look at August, right around the middle of the summer, we had an anomaly. That's an outlier. I don't really count that because a 1 month spike or dip, it doesn't really add up to anything. We're looking at trends here. But you can see that the inventory is trending down. And the reason why we're seeing that is because of two reasons. A lot of folks, their stuff's sitting on the market and they're getting frustrated and they just give up. We've had a few clients do that. And likewise, a lot of people are looking at the news, and if they don't have to move right now, they're kind of staying put for right now to see what happens. So that accounts for the inventory dip. It's not that stuff is selling, it's just that people are hesitant to put their houses on the market right now. And that's something that we've been seeing out there on the street. If you take a look at the absorption rate, and what that is, we measure it in months. It's if the sales remain the same and no new properties came on the market at all, how long would it take to run out of property? We're at 3.6 months right now, which technically puts it into seller market territory. Well, I can tell you right now, it is not a seller's market. And these numbers are for single-family homes. In the condo market, it's even worse. And I'll tell you about that at the end. You take a look at median price. It's following the trend. It obviously, when there's less demand, the median price goes down, and we've seen that. People are not getting the kind of prices that they were 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I'll give you an example. Pat and I just sold a house, and one that we own, and a year ago it would have been worth $100,000 more than it was worth right this year when we sold it. So the market fluctuates. But that sounds like you would think, oh my God, I'm losing $100,000. Well, no, we didn't. Real estate always goes up over time. It goes up and down, but the trend is always up over time. You have to account for time in all of this. So we still did fine on it. It was still a good investment. It would have been better last year. Well, we didn't need to move then. We didn't decide to sell it then. We decided to sell it now, and we had reasons to sell it now. So the property's worth what it's worth. The market decides that. And there's always going to be people moving. There's always going to be buyers. There's always going to be sellers. So let's get back into the statistics. All right, here's the inventory. And you can tell by looking at this just on the face, it looks alarming. It looks like really, really bad news. But when you think about it, you got to look at the big picture. First of all, we're at the end of the year. People generally don't list their homes over the holidays, although there's really no good reason not to, but people usually don't because they've got other things on their minds. They're busy doing other things. So end of the year, we're seeing the trend going way down, and we're also, like I mentioned before, we've got seller fatigue going on where a lot of sellers are just They're getting frustrated and giving up for now and putting off. And likewise, people that are thinking about selling, a lot of folks are just kind of putting it off. That brings us to days to contract. Obviously, it's going to take longer to sell something right now. It just is. We've got less buyers right now, so it's taking longer. So here's the bottom line for you guys, and I'll talk about condos in a second. Bottom line is houses are selling, but they have to be priced appropriately. They need to be in good condition, nice and clean, and they need to stand out from the competition in some way. In the past, you could get away with some pricing strategies that don't work now. Right now, you have to take a look at the competition. And that's one thing that Pat and I really take a hard look at. Like, let's say, for example, you've got a house that's $500,000. Well, if I got $500,000 in my pocket, what can I go buy today? Well, if something else is $500,000 and it's better than your $500,000, well, obviously I'm going to buy that one. So there's a strategy here, and that's just the reality of the market. And the truth is, it's a lot more normal now than it has been in the recent past. During COVID, well, it was crazy time. And fortunately, that's hopefully, not going to happen again in our lifetime, because those were some hard times for everybody. Now, condo crisis in Florida. Condos are hard to sell right now. You may wonder how I know. It's because we got condo listings. They're taking a lot of work. It's very frustrating for sellers. They are selling, though. It's just taking more time, and they have to be priced appropriately for today's market. So if you're a condo person, or whether you choose us or some other agent to sell your property, just know going in, it's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to take a lot of patience, because it's going to feel like forever, because we've all gotten used to everything happening real fast. And it's just not doing that right now, and it's not expected to do that for quite a while. So what's the best time to buy or sell? The best time is when you want to move. That's just the truth. Because no matter when you buy, no matter when you sell, price always goes up over time. And the rule of thumb is you need to stay in your house at least 2 years. We recommend 4, but it's going to go up. It always does. So that's the good news. If you got questions, put them in the comments down below. Give us a call, ask us. We'll tell you anything you want to know. But don't believe all that bad news out on the street. It's the news, they're in the business of getting people to watch or read. And I understand that, but it's not as bad as it seems. You just need a good plan, and that's all it is. So thanks again for watching. I'll see you soon, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.